Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
What a wonderful time it is to be alive in these very difficult circumstances, and I hope everyone of us is keeping safe and we all know what to do to stay safe. Welcome to yet another edition of Desert Island Discs. My name is Simon Kasyate, your usual host. And yes, you'll pardon me for not wearing a mask, not for any other thing of carelessness as should be, but it's because we've taken care of all the other standard operating procedures. On the program, I have the pleasure to host a gentleman whose life story is an incredible one, and I don't want to preempt our conversation, but as you can see, we're quite a distance from each other. I have also requested that he takes off his mask for easy visibility and audibility. Welcome to the program, Dennis Ngabirano. Now, we all know you for your trade name, Sams. School teacher, calm, roast of groundnuts, now incredible businessman. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Simon.
Dennis here is the man behind the brand name Sam's Crisps. Now, this is not really to advertise anything, but if you have had a taste of these things, it's quite an incredible, sumptuous, crunchy snack. And now we're here to listen to his life story. What makes him tick, and how is the making of a man who had the humble beginnings of a school teacher, now a businessman commanding, perhaps you'd say, hundreds of thousands, perhaps even millions of dollars in terms of business acumen. Welcome to the program once again. Tell us about Sam's and the crisps business.
My name is Dennis Ngabirano. I'm the proprietor of Sam's Food Industries Limited under the brand name Sums.
Oh, it's not Sam's.
No. So the brand name is Sums.
Can you imagine all along I've been saying Sam's?
And the company name is Sam's. So there is a difference between the two. So those who have a very good sense of pronunciation, they will always be very, very cautious about the pronunciation of the two words.
Psalms.
Yes.
And it's the Psalms.
The Bible Psalms, yes.
And this is Sums.
This is Sums.
Just what motivated you to get the Bible Psalms to become the name of the company, and then what informed you to call the brand name Sums?
Well, in the beginning, our company name was Mr. Tasty.
Mr. Tasty.
Mr. Tasty. That was the beginning. But along the way, I was advised that downtown, there was a prominent restaurant around ShopRite bearing the same name. So I was cautioned about the legal implications of holding a business name which is already in existence. So I tried to rethink left and right, and what came into my mind was a Sam's. Why a Sam's? It's because by the time the business evolved from the first product to the second to the fifth, we're still using Mr. Tasty. So I asked myself, I've not gone to school to learn how to make the crisps. I've not copied these processes from anyone around me. But I see myself trying out different recipes, and things are coming out. So it was some kind of revelation. It became a little bit confusing and stressing at the same time on which kind of name I would change to. But the only option was a Sam's. So why a Sam's? Because a Sam's is a collection of Thanksgiving statements or write-ups, and I realized that I needed to thank God, because it was under His guidance that we were able to come up with the different recipes and the products on the market which seemed to be rocking the market at that time. So the Psalms from the Bible now to the product. songs of praise, and thanksgiving. It's a compilation of the two. So I chose to use Psalms because I realized that I needed to dedicate the business to God.
Wow. And then Psalms?
So now, along the way, as we moved on, I realized that customers were calling in on our customer care line, through our customer care line. Say, is this Psalms? Yes, this is Psalms. How may I help you? And then the customer would say, Mukama yebaziwe sebo. So, in a day, I would get such calls. 2, 3, 4 calls. Mukama yebaziwe. And that is the greeter. Okay? So I realized that it is becoming something serious. People are thinking that we have a locally. People are thinking that this is a church-based business. So we had to think twice. But what really caused the turning point in the change of the brand name? I went downtown to purchase spares from a shop owned by an Indian. He asked me that, are you Psalms? Or are you Pasrams? So you are the Pasams. You see, with the Indians, the pronunciation would become a little complicated. So I looked at this Indian trying to jug around with the name, Pasrams, Pasams, Pisams. And I was like, oh, which means this name is naturally difficult to pronounce. So so he added another statement that, are you a Moroccan? So I said, no, I'm not a Moroccan, but I'm a Christian. So, oh, okay. If you're not a Moroccan, I'm giving you discount. That hit me hard. I started thinking left and right. So which means Psalms, some people are attaching different feelings about the Bible Psalms. So I thought of coming up with a different brand name. The way you see Coca-Cola, the company name is essentially a bottling company, and they have a brand name. You see Reham, it is Harris International, and the brand name is Reham. So I said, no, to avoid this confusion, let me come up with a brand name which is closely related to the original Psalms. And in the layman's pronunciation, someone would still call it the Psalms, pronounce it as the Psalms. But when it comes to the right English, it is the Psalms.
The way you pronounce it is all up to your taste preferences, and it's all about being tasty. Yeah. But let's look at the man called Dennis Ngabirano. And we would just love to know the making of you. And we'll start from the beginning. Who were you? Where were you born? To whom were you born?
Like I earlier said, Dennis Ngabirano is my name. I come, I'm from a family of 11.
11?
Yes, I have 11 children. And a father and a mom, definitely. So the total is 13. Wow. I'm the second in line. I'm the second born. And I have 8 brothers and 3 sisters. So as Dennis Ngabirano, I was born in Kabale, the current Rwanda district, but my father at that time was still practicing as a teacher. So my father got a job in Ngabirano Junior Boys. So he was transferred from Kabale, and at an early age of 3, we migrated from Kabale to Mukono district, basically Ngabirano Junior, and that's where I grew up in my early years. And as I went through the early education levels, my father, as a teacher, by senior 4, he never wanted me to continue to HSC.
He wanted you to?
He wanted me to emulate him.
And become a teacher?
And become a teacher. So he insisted that I should go to a primary teacher's college.
Wow. On this program, we play music. Now we've seen the genesis of your business, the genesis of your life. Let's play our first song. When we return, you take us back into being raised in a home of a teacher with all these many siblings and what your father dreamt and wanted for you. So what will be your first song?
My first song is by David Eken. My tomorrow must be better than today.
I won't ask why you choose that, but clearly from your explanation of how your business started and how you were born, I understand. So can you play that song for the benefit of your listening pleasure and for that of our listeners? We'll be right back. It's Desert Island Discs.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Welcome back to Desert Island Discs, and we have this incredible gentleman, a man who's running a very successful snack business, but boy oh boy, what a life story he's going to share with us. So Dennis, you were born humble family of a primary school teacher. What was your mother doing? Was she a teacher as well? My
mother was a peasant farmer, but when it came to a situation whereby my father was being transferred in different schools within the Mukono district, my mother chose to start a snack related business. So this is coming from somewhere? Yes, it is some kind of family background in the world of business. So my mother would make samosas, she would make pancakes, she would make chapatis, and she would distribute the snacks in the school canteen within Ngabirano Junior Boys. So we grew up seeing our mother hustling with the snacks business in the school canteens. She would wake up very early in the morning, in the wee hours. She's rolling the chapatis and the mandazi. As a second born to this huge family of 11, yes, do you recall your childhood and what it is you used to do, the things subjected you to? You have fewer sisters than brothers. It means you, the boys, had to do quite a lot in terms of domestic chores, or did you not? Way back in the early 90s, I must say I was made an entrepreneur at an early age. In the early 90s, and specifically 1991, my mother used to encourage us to make plans of generating our own pocket money. That's a difficult thing. Yes. Imagine a child of a head teacher, but the mother was this hustler who encouraged us to be independent at a certain level. So there was no pocket money at school given to us at home. So my mother used to rear goats. She used to rear these pigs, and were equally encouraged to have our own chicken, have to mix it up, have a goat, have a pig, and by around 1993, I had started earning. I definitely, as a child of a teacher, I started my preschool at Ngabirano Junior Boys, and my father thereafter was transferred to Nkoyo boarding primary school, Matare. So I attended a series of primary schools, but not by choice, it was by design. Wow. So from there, I went to St. Barry Kudembe Senior Secondary School. And after my senior 4, my father lowered me into the teaching profession. But I didn't like it in the beginning. I was like, I have a very good first grade. Why is it that my father is pushing me into teaching? So initially, there was that belief that primary teacher colleges, we are taking on academic failures.
Oh.
Yes, that you have sent your son or daughter to a primary teacher's college. Oh, that one must have failed. But I was lucky in one or another that I went to the teacher's college with the best grades. In our intake, way back in 2000, I was the best candidate in year 1 intake at Shimoni Primary Teachers College.
I would love to understand.
Yeah.
When you joined the teacher training college,
Yes.
do you have a particular subject you want to teach, or you are taught to teach every subject?
We are taught to teach every subject.
Wow.
But my father, as a mathematics teacher, kept encouraging me that I should take on a marketable subject. That mathematics teachers will never fail to get employment. Mathematics teachers, they are the best paid teachers. So I got inspired. So I had to take on to specialize in mathematics when I started teaching.
Just before we play our next song, your first experience standing before a class. Sometimes some of the things can be threatening. Some people, in fact, suffer from stage fright. Did you feel anything like that, or you were used?
Having seen my dad teach over the years, and having accepted that I should take on my daddy's career, that one alone gave me confidence in the second year of my training. So by the time I went to the classroom, I was prepared enough, because I believed that I was a very bright student. I believed that I could accomplish. I believed in myself, and that was enough to make me stand courageously and deliver what was always expected of me. But definitely, I used to get some few such characters.
Yeah.
They would tease me. I used to be called, I had a nickname, Teacher Charismati. And because I used to be a very, very smart teacher, that one was very good of me, because I loved it.
Nice
I loved it because it was a nice nickname. It was a replication of what I was. And a few others kept coming.
You'll be telling us a few of the other nicknames as you started gaining them from school to school, but for now, let's play the next song. What would it be?
My next song is All That Matters by Minister Goch.
You love your inspirational, Christian music, don't you?
Yes, I love the Christian songs, because when I look at where I've come from, it's been really a hassle. From scratch to such a great business empire, I must always be thankful to God. So when I recall the journey I've walked with my wife and the children, I really must say there should be a continuous dedication in terms of what we do, in terms of what we think, in terms of what we plan, and even what we dream.
Let's get down to All That Matters, as chosen by Mr. Dennis Ngabirano, who today we have to give a nickname, Sooms. We'll be right back.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Welcome back. It's Desert Island Discs, and yes, on the program, an interesting gentleman. Humble beginnings as a teacher, now business empire, proprietor, owner, and director. Dennis Ngabirano of SUMS, we call it SUMS, but it's the place where you get your wonderful precepts in whichever way and form that you love them. As you teach, of course, you are now transited into a bit of a young adult, where then you begin to realize maybe you need to start a family, maybe you need to develop yourself in more ways than one. At what point did you get to meet your wife, and how was it? Is she a teacher as well?
Yes, my wife, Maureen, she's a teacher by profession, but a secondary school teacher, and for me as a primary school teacher. Surprisingly, Maureen used to come to school to pick her niece.
The primary school where you used to teach?
Yes. And then the second time, I think around the fourth time I saw her, she had come to attend an interview. She wanted to leave the secondary school job to join a primary school.
Is it that easy?
Because at City Parent School, they had advertised for some teaching posts. So she wanted to cross to a primary school. So after the interview, I saw this young, beautiful lady roaming around the compound. And I said, hey,
can I help you?
May I help you? Are you sorted? Please feel at home. This is City Parent School. And definitely I couldn't hold it. I had to extend my conversation by asking for her name and then
her contact.
Her contact. So a year later,
after meeting
Maureen, we were definitely still girlfriend and boyfriend.
Did she come to join the school?
No, she did not make it actually, because she had a secondary school teaching background, and at City Parent School they were looking for primary school teachers who had a vast experience in the subsequent years of teaching. So now, a year later, I realized that the relationship was growing. But I asked myself, as if this is really turning out to be very, very serious. Am I ready for a marriage? I tried to check my pocket. Are the resources that I'm having enough to sustain a family? I asked myself that I'm a diploma holder and she's a degree holder. Won't that really be difficult to manage a degree holder material when I'm a diploma holder?
Many questions.
So it kept haunting in my mind. I felt insecure. So when I talked to one of my friends who was a parent at that time, Mrs. Motawe, she encouraged me to go for further studies. So I enrolled for a bachelor's degree at St. Lawrence University, and this was an evening course. But at the same time, remember, my girlfriend was on my neck. At that time, she got pregnant. Oh, yes. So now with the pregnancy setting in, and actually were cohabiting. She had come.
Now living with you.
She had come a month before the pregnancy. So now she started switch talking me.
You have to come and see the baby.
That you have to come. You have to go home. That just come the way you are. For me, I will explain to them. Don't you fear? My parents are really
modest people.
Teachers, like your parents are.
Yes, so even her parents are
yes,
teachers.
Her parents are teachers.
Wow.
So she convinced me to go and visit. But now, at that time, the little saving which I had put aside
was for
close to 1 million shillings that I'd wanted to divert into starting up the project couldn't be spared. So I ended up visiting. So I mobilized the teachers, mobilized the parents, I mobilized my relatives and friends. And I was able to get enough money for the introduction and for the wedding at the same time. And that was way back in 2019. Now, immediately after the wedding, I realized that there was some cash balance in my wallet of 500,000. I said, oh my God, you mean it has happened and there is a balance of 500? No, you have to go for the honeymoon. So I told Maureen, we are going for the honeymoon.
Wow.
Whether we go by bus, whether we go by taxi, but we are going for the honeymoon. So we boarded a bus off to Mombasa. So while we were wandering around Fort Jesus, I saw one gentleman preparing raw banana snacks, raw matoke, using raw matoke. Raw matoke with a vegetable slicer, with a makeshift kind of charcoal stove, the way you see the chapati vendors on the makers, sellers on the roadside. So that was the kind of setup. And this person was slicing matoke, raw matoke. I looked at a very simple business model and unique in its nature, because I did not see it anywhere in Uganda. So that prompted me to purchase a snack. So we purchased and tested. So it was just raw matoke and salted. So it was a salty snack. So we tested the snack, tested with my bride, and she was like, it is still lacking. But at that time, it was an opportunity come true for me to create a link between the project that had failed to take shape. And then I asked myself, why don't I write about this particular business model, submit, complete the coursework, and even because I realized that it was very easy for me to implement. So when we returned, I did what we call copy and paste. Where there was a goat, I would cut and fix bananas. Where there was cooking, where there was grass, I would cut, put cooking oil. So I came up with a modest budget of 43,000 Ugandan, 43,000 shillings. I said, oh, 43? This one really I can afford. So the following day, I submitted the coursework. The lecturer was excited that I had come up with a reconsideration with a new business idea. So the lecturer got excited and encouraged me to start. The following day, the third day actually, I went to Owino Market. From school, I went to Owino Market, currently the St. Valley Kudembe Market. I purchased plantains, currently commonly known as gonja, worth 5,000 shillings, because I was looking for an alternative raw material to sweeten up the snack. Because remember, the other idea was about using raw matoke. Now this time around, I asked myself, if I switched the raw matoke to semi-ripe gonja, the taste would be improved. So I purchased gonja worth 5,000 shillings. I kept it with the askari at the gate. I went for lectures. After the lectures at around 9 p.m., I picked my Kavera, boarded a taxi to home in Nansana. So when I reached home, I took the supper, I took a shower, and I asked Maureen that, you know what, we are starting trials, because the lecturer insisted that she would be coming tomorrow to inspect the project. So the trials came out very, very successful.
Wow.
And the neighbors were yearning for the
Test of the snack.
crisps. Everybody wanted to test. But because they were trials, I allowed them to test. They were all excited because the test had come out very well. The following day, I went back to Owino Market after teaching. I brought gonja of 7,000, kept it at the gate, went for lectures. After lectures, I boarded to Nansana. After supper and a shower, we started. I asked my wife that this time around, we are preparing to fulfill a coursework requirement. And the neighbors who were coming for more samples, I said, no, this is now business. No more testing. If you want to test, you have to pay. So the following day, I went for lectures with the 12 packets of gonja. So when the lecturer looked at them, said that, no, you bought them in the shop. I have to come and witness. So I said, okay, you will come, but let me go and sell this. So I took those 12 packets to the university canteen and I sold them at 400 shillings each. So the first sale was 4,800 shillings. The third trial was when the lecturer had come. So it was a Saturday. It was not a normal teaching time, a normal teaching day. So I had all the time to do the trials in the presence of the lecturer. So she really got moved with the project. So after the lecturer had visited the project, that was the third trial, and that time we had produced more. So from 12 now to 48. Wow. So the budget of raw material kept growing day by day. So I sold the third. The second sale was around the Nansa. Now there's a grocery in our neighborhood where we sold the 24 packets. And now that second sale was of 9,600. So I saw the curve growing. Exponential. And then I was like, I have to go and buy more. So I kept buying, buying, selling. So I would put them in the bag, I go with them to school, sell in the school canteen, sell at the university canteen, sell in the groceries around, and it became a habit. So what started as a coursework now translated into a business.
Right over there. Let's play your next song. When we come back, we now go back to those humble beginnings of what is today a multi-million shilling company.
My next song is a dedication to Maureen. I used to play this song whenever would fly the crisps late in the night. So it was a song, and it is still a song that would keep encouraging her, drawing her close to me. And that song is Cuckoo by Radio and Weasel.
You are my... I could see the glow and glitter in your eyes the moment you started curating about this song.
Yes.
Maureen is a very special woman, to without a doubt. Let's listen to this song for her listening pleasure, and of course, can't wait to get to know the full story of how it all began, from a coursework to now a multi-million shilling company. I hope the lecturer is still part of this.
Actually, the lecturer is now a board member. She's a board member and the chairperson, Human Resource Committee.
Wow. Yes. We'll be right back into Desert Island.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Welcome back. It's Desiree. I think you can see that the man we have here is a man who doesn't take things that easily. From a coursework, to build a business model, to now a multi-million shillings company. Dennis. So the coursework became more than just a coursework.
Yes.
But all this you were doing in your little home kitchen, I guess.
Definitely. From the veranda.
On the what?
From the veranda.
Using a sigiri.
Using a sigiri.
And they deep fry just a karai.
And no, a saucepan. No. We didn't have the money to buy the saucepan, the karai.
And so you're using spoons? And
so definitely, the 43,000 shillings we started the business could only buy a few kilos of gonja, a few liters of cooking oil, and the packaging material. We could not even afford to buy a hand sealer. So in my budget,
you were tight.
I had the candles. So candles were part of the requirements to start the business. So we would burn the cavera on the bottle, on the candle frame. But eventually we progressed from burning on the sitting using a candle to using an iron box. The other one, the ordinary iron box where we fill with the charcoal. So then we saw ourselves progressing to now using a hand sealer. So now, the 43,000 shillings, we had wedding gifts. So there were saucepans, there were spoons, there were forks, there were plates. But I realized that within the third week, the business, the charcoal stove we had at home could not give us enough heat. So we borrowed the neighbor's charcoal stove. So when we borrowed the neighbor's charcoal stove, because it was huge, she had a business of selling boiled water. You know, that setup you are renting 2 rooms. One is a living room, another one is a bedroom, and in front there is a small store. So we are cooking from the veranda. Now from the veranda, business started. But now, I realized that whenever I went to the market, I would find imported brands from Kenya. And the imported brands comprised of bhajia, recipes, cookies. And I was asking myself, that you mean Ugandans are importing brown nuts? Oh, this is something we can do. So the second product in line were ground nuts. Because I really felt moved. I saw that there was a serious demand for quality roasted ground nuts. So I ventured into the ground nuts. So I kept on bringing on board new ideas, new products, but they would always come in a trial form, because I would just Google how to make potato crisps, how to roast ground nuts. Imagine, no school,
nothing except Google,
no mentors, and that's when the company name Sam's comes in. Because imagine, you don't have a teacher, you don't have a mentor, you are your own teacher. So over the time, I saw this business grow because it has not, in its initial stages of growth, there were no burdens of picking profits from the business.
Instead, you are plowing them back.
I would plow back. Okay? But I realized that as an entrepreneur, I needed to reward myself and also to reward my wife. And the design was that we come up with a payroll structure. So I convinced Maureen, because as a secondary school teacher, she was also teaching in 2 schools part-timing. So I convinced her to drop 1 school so that we could start some production activities during the daytime on the days she would be off. Because my school was, my job was paying me some good salary, I could not forego to withdraw from teaching. So I asked her to withdraw from one school to remain with one. But over the time, she had even to withdraw from the second and remain with none.
Wow.
But that was on condition that the payroll proposal
beats what she was
meets. I had to match. I had to match the salary she was earning from the two schools. So I started paying her as the first employee. Eventually, I saw myself getting employed from the same business. So at that time, I had no option, but the best thing I could do was to ask for a study leave to complete my dissertation. So the school granted me the study leave without pay. But believe me what?
You made that money.
When I stepped out of the classroom, within the next 1 month, I was able to double the sales. So I said, maybe it has just been a very good month. And maybe I've exploited all the opportunities. Why don't I give it a try for the next 3 months? I saw sales growing day by day. So I took a very tough decision to resign from my teaching job to concentrate on the business growth and development, because at that time I had, the number of employees had increased to 27.
That was a noble decision, hard decisions that we take in life, but obviously for a good reason. Let's play your next song. When we return, then we see what it is that makes you tick and stand out of what otherwise would appear as a crowded market.
My next song is What a Beautiful Name It Is, and that is by Hill Song Worship. Some entrepreneurs, they kill their own businesses by baptizing names to their businesses which are really a scare. I'll give you an example. I have a neighbor whose business is Nafada Electronics. Nafada, I died long ago, electronics. And I was like, so whenever I pass by and I look at Nafada Electronics, I was like, what is really this guy up to? Another one, Zikusoka. Nezitakusanga or nezitakuva mabega. Obali baseka. So such names are a curse to the business. But now with beautiful names like Psalms, we can't really take it for granted. And it's the reason I'm choosing this song.
For our listening pleasure on a Sunday evening such as this one, it can't get any better. We'll be right back.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Welcome back. It's Desert Island Discs, and as you can see, the hustler himself, as he prefers to call himself, multitasker, hustler, and everything in between. Humble beginnings, but well, what a tremendous ending in terms of where he is at the moment. Dennis, this humble business of yours that you grew starting from the veranda of your house, now in a huge complex spanning many square meters of space. The growth must have been one of those very difficult ones to narrate, and we can't go into the story of Psalms on its own, or Psalms as you prefer to call it, but there must be those milestones that when you look back, you can only attribute to your business acumen, but also the quality of your product. Between those two, your hustle spirit and the quality of your program or of your products, which one do you think has contributed more to your growth as an individual but also as a business?
Thank you, Simon. When you put in consideration what makes a business thrive, it cannot be a one-off. It cannot be a one factor or two. In most cases, it is a combination of factors. And one of them is the resilience. As an entrepreneur, I've found myself a resilient person. Because it's not a guarantee that whoever has a very good product on the market will receive acceptability. But above all, I, as an individual, I have always been very, very present, very, very available to make sure that I innovate. Innovation must be matched with the needs of the customers. So at present, we have launched our e-shop. So you can no longer hustle
to run to the
supermarkets to shop. Having access to our products just a phone call away, or we have through our e-commerce website. Just go to our website, www.samsfoodindustries.com. So we have launched an e-shop in there, log in, and you'll have the products delivered at your door.
Now, talking about Sam's, of course, like I said, that would be a story of another day. But now, as we conclude down to your own personal story, let's look at your personal attributes as a person. What are the things that get you worked up or angry, Dennis?
What really gives me that great push is the growth that I see coming in day by day. When I see an increase in the sales, I really feel greatly moved. I really feel greatly motivated. I wake up stronger. I keep praying. I keep innovating because there is a fuel behind me. There is a motivation that I see that is pushing this business that started from a veranda to the COMESA member states. Because apparently we are the only crucibles manufacturing company in Uganda that has reached an export level to East Africa and beyond. When I say beyond, we have tapped into the markets within the COMESA member states like Southern Sudan, DRC, and Zambia. And above all, when I see our customers purchasing online, get someone from New York purchasing online and we ship the gonja. Someone in South Africa, we ship the gonja. We really feel moved for that
very
product.
Many snacks and different flavors and all that. But if I may ask you a personal question, what's your favorite dish? What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is rice, basically chicken biryani, and a little bit of karo. That is millet bread.
How do you like to wash it down? What's your favorite drink?
My favorite drink is a wine.
Wow.
I enjoy the white wine. And in most cases, but I rarely drink. So if I am extremely happy, I take a wine once in a while.
Wow. This is a beautiful place, the country, Uganda.
Yes.
We had earlier on in the story you went for your honeymoon in Mombasa, but if you were to take another honeymoon or get marooned somewhere in Uganda, where would that be and why?
Maybe Chobe.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nice. Where I've been, and I would love maybe to have another visit to the same place.
Dennis Ngabirano, it's been a pleasure having you on the program and for you to share with us your incredible life story and the growth of your industry. Maybe as I would say, kwaheri to our listeners who we must also thank for being with us and also watching us, what will be your last song?
My next song is Different Colors, One People, and that is by Lucky Dube. Because the reason I chose this song is because our products are not for only Indians or Asians, they are not for black people, they are not for the white people, but they are for everyone. And that's why we chose to change the brand name, or to introduce the brand name SUMS, so that everybody could be brought on board. Wow. So different colors, one people, really is a song that moves me.
It's been a wonderful program. It's been a wonderful life story, and we always play Jazz This Island. It's to also bring you these incredible stories every Sunday. So stay tuned, stay blessed, and let's meet same time, same place next Sunday with yet another incredible story. God bless you.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM. Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM. Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.